Hi guys, this is Mr. Chauke. I'm a professional teacher for accounting. If you're watching this, you are definitely at the right place. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button down there. Now, in this question, you are provided with information extracted from the financial year end of agency suppliers, and the information says to us that the financial year ends on 30 June 2020. So we know that if our year ends on 30 June 2020, then it means that we started on 1 July 2020. Remember, as I was saying, if our year ended on 30 June 2020, it means it started on 1 July 2019. So you need to make sure that you get your accounting period very correct. Number one, we are required to complete the notes for trade and other payables. Very important for us to know how to do it. Secondly, they say prepare the equity and liability section of the balance sheet when notes are required to show you all your workings in brackets to end part marks. Guys, this thing, for you to be able to show your workings in part mark in brackets, you must really be good with your notes. Very important for you guys to make sure that you master your notes. So now, the secret to mastering balance sheet is to always start by entering the information that you have. Once you have entered that, then you can deal with the adjustments. Then here they're saying that maybe we can also look at the format. So now remember, under creditors control, one of the things that you're going to have, or maybe you can be controlled by information, but you definitely are aware that you are going to have your prepaid, your accrued expenses. So meaning that you should start by writing down that format. You are going to have your accrued expenses. You are going to have your income received in advance. Then you are going to have your SARS payee if it's there. So maybe we can just get a look to see if it's there. So it's there. So we have SARS payee. So I'm going to include it here. SARS payee. And then we are going to have things like your medical aid if they are given. So you have your creditors for salaries. So maybe what I can do, I can just enter the amounts for this, okay, but I will come back to that format now. So here, if we start here, we have capital balances on the 1st of July 2019, which is 409,000. That information has already been entered for us on the balance sheet, so we don't need to enter it. Then after, we have drawings for 140,000. We know that the drawings are supposed to be subtracted, so we're going to say under this here, we're going to say minus 140,000, and then from there we can go to the next one. The next one says that, remember, on the balance sheet we are doing equity section, so it means that some of these things, they will not fit. Our land and buildings, our debtors control will not fit. Then we also have the loan from the Bank of South Africa for 400,000. But for this one, I always advise learners to wait until they've read the loan statement, because it is the one that is going to tell them what must happen. So that loan, that closing balance, we have a transaction that says a quarter of the loan will be paid in the next financial year. So what we are going to do, that loan, we can include it under long-term loan, remember. So it's going to be loan, and then the amount from our trial balance for the loan is 400,000. Okay, so, and they've given you the date, meaning that is our closing balance. And then from there we have so we've used the loan. We have our creditors control for 38,500. So let's check if it's here. Creditors control, I'm going to put it here as 38,500. And then after that we have our bank overdraft for 3,200. So remember, bank overdraft is supposed to be shown here. So we have bank overdraft 3,200. And remember, under here we're going to have trade payables. That note, once we complete it, we will put the total here. And then our bank overdraft, according to there, it was 3,200, so it has already been recorded. Then next we have accrued income for 3,400. Remember, accrued income to us as a business is an asset, so we will not use it. Then after that we have accrued expenses for 4,200. Accrued expenses, it means that we are owing those people, so it will come here. That 4,200 will come here. And then after that we have income received in advance for 3.6, so this 3,600 will come here. Then you automatically start collecting marks for these transactions without going to the adjustment. So remember, our income received in advance is 3,600, so that 3,600 I'm going to write it here, and then from there we can check what else we have. Prepaid expenses, remember, is an asset, so we will not have it. Creditors for salaries is 12,300, so that 12,300 will come here. I'm going to write it quickly. Creditors for salaries, and then I will have that 12,300. And then from there we're going to check what else are we given. We are given SARS payee as 5.3, so that SARS payee will come this side as 5,300. And then from there we're going to check what else are we given. UIF, it is 4.8, so I'm going to write it here. Unemployment, because you must not write in abbreviations in exam. Unemployment insurance fund, according to here, our UIF becomes 4,800. So in so doing, we have already collected some marks for entering those amounts. Okay, now from there you go to adjustments. The first adjustment says, after taking into account the adjustment, the correct net profit amounted to 245,000. So once they mention net profit, it means it increases my equity. So I'm going to say we are going to come here, remember, and say plus 245,000, because they said it's net profit, so net profit, it means it is a plus. Then the next adjustment says that a debtor with a credit balance, the keyword here is the credit balance, and they're saying that this data must be taken here and then be transferred to the creditors control. So because at the moment that data has got a credit balance, it means when I transfer him, I'm going to debit my debtors control. Okay, so it means here I'll say debit debtors control, and then I need to think about what must be done. Then automatically it tells me that I must credit my creditors control, because this person has got a credit balance, and if I take him or her out, then it means I must debit debtors control, so that the account becomes 0 for that. And then when I go to creditors control, I'm going to add, because the people that I'm owing are increasing by 650. So under trade and other payables note, we are going to say plus 650. But remember, on the trade receivables, we will not do anything, because that part does not affect our what we are required to do. Next, they are saying that on 30 June, the owner increased his capital contribution by providing a motor vehicle worth 80,000 to the business. So this owner increased his capital contribution by bringing a car that is worth 80,000 to the business. So it's going to be additional capital during the year. So it means we're going to say the 80,000 has already been recorded. So it means that we need to be very careful. The 80,000 has already been recorded. So that 80,000, you are not going to record it, because they have already recorded it for you. And then also, if you look at your Tara balance, there's nowhere else where they have 80,000. So it shows you that that 80,000 comes from the additional capital contribution. So please make sure that you don't repeat some of the information that they've recorded. Okay, next they're saying that the business plans to pay a quarter of the outstanding loan in the next financial year. When we speak about a quarter, we are talking about a 1/4, and they're saying that this is going to be done in the next financial year. Okay, so if this is going to be paid, this quarter is going to be paid in the next financial year, it means in the next 12 months. So what we must do, we must check what is the balance of the loan. According to here, the balance of the loan is 400,000. So if we say 400,000 multiplied by 1 divide by 4, it's going to tell us what is the quarter. The quarter, according to here, it's 100,000. So it means I'm going to say minus 100,000, and then remember I also have to record that here as my short-term loan. So I'll write short-term loan as 100,000 here to comply with the law. Remember, this 100,000 is going to be paid in the next 12 months. So that's why we are removing it within the next 12 months. That's why we're removing it from the long-term loan to short-term loan. Okay. And then the next transaction says that a data AK Kumalo transferred 1,700 into the current account of the business. Remember, all these things were not, some of them were not recorded. This one you saw it was recorded, so it means that we don't need to record it again. So that's 1,700 that was transferred to the current account of the business will reduce our bank overdraft. So we're going to say minus 1,700 here. So we're going to say minus 1,700, and then we will close this off. Okay, and then from there, what we have to do, we have to go to our equity node and sort out. We have to go to our trade and other payables node and close off that. Remember here, the answer is going to be 300,000 because you're going to pay a quarter in the next financial year. So you have your 300,000 here, and then for your bank overdraft, remember 3.2 minus 1.7, it is going to give us 1.5, meaning that our bank overdraft will remain as 1,500. Then from there, what we need to do, we can make sure that we totalize our equity. Our equity is going to be 409,000 plus 80,000, and then we're going to say minus 140,000, and then plus 245,000. It is giving us 594,000. So our answer here for equity will be 594,000. So please be careful about such things. Okay, so it will be 594,000, and then from here, what we need to do, we need to make sure that we go and close off our, let me just confirm this if we got the accurate figure. Minus 140,000, and then also plus 245,000. Okay, so now let's get the total of our trade and other payables so that we can also bring it here. So trade and other payables, most of these things did not change, so it is not bad for us. So it means if you know the structure, you will really benefit with the notes, especially if you are not doing them fully. But when it comes to doing a full balance sheet, you will have to make sure that you are sure with everything. Okay, so now the ones that did not change, I'm just going to close off this brackets to show that these amounts were not affected by transactions. So let's check 38,500, and then plus 650, it is giving us 39,150. So the total will be here 39,150. Okay, so okay, let me see, 38,500 plus 650, it gave us 39,150. Here the answer will remain 4,200. Here the answer will remain 3,600. Here the answer will remain 5,300, and then here the answer will remain 12,300, and then finally here the answer will remain 4,800. Then from there, all I have to do is to totalize these items. Okay, so we're going to say 39,150 plus 4.2 plus 3,600 plus 5.3 and then plus 12,300 and then plus 4.8, and then the total that we're getting is 69,350. So we need to check if all this is really correct. So let's redo it again. 39,150 plus 4,200 plus 3.6 plus 5.3 and then plus 12,300 and then plus 4.8. The total it is giving us 69,350. So on our balance sheet under trade and other payables, we are going to take 69,350. So we're going to write that 69,350. Then from there we get the total of these three items. It becomes our total current liability. So 69,350 plus 1.5 and then plus 100,000. It is giving us 170,850. So our total will be 170,850. So let's add to confirm what I'm saying. 69,350 plus 1.5 and then plus 100,000. It is giving us 170,850. Then from there all we have to do is to get our total equity and liabilities. So to get our total equity and liabilities, we are going to say our equity plus non-current liabilities and then plus current liabilities. So according to here, our equity is 594,000. So we're going to say 594,000 plus 300,000 and then also plus 170,850, and then the answer that we got is 1,064,850. So I'm going to put it here, 1,064,850. And then guys, we are done with this lesson. So if you want me to become your personal tutor, you're more than welcome to get in touch with me by using the details that will be available at the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching. May God richly bless you. Shalom.